Okay, welcome back. So far we've checked out a working copy of our SVN repository, and now we're ready to start creating some files. So the first thing is we are going to create some directories in our repository so that we could organize our files, and we'll start by creating a CME 211 directory. And then within that, we will, for demonstration purposes, create a directory called Jolt. And we will move into that Jolt directory. And let's say that we'd like to start development of a software project here. Maybe we're going to do our Hello World program in C++ maybe. So we're going along and we're just creating as normal our files. So it doesn't really matter what editor you're using or what the language is. SVN just deals with the files similar to the way the operating system treats them. So now we've gone ahead and created our little program. And right now we have this file created in our working copy that's been checked out from the repository. And if we want to actually put this into the centralized repository server, we need to commit that back to the repository. So only changes that have been committed back to the central repository will actually be kept under version control and be visible to you as the history of the file and be accessible by other collaborators that have access to your repository. So it's not like it keeps track of every little character you add to a file. It's up to you to decide when you commit that file back to the central server. And committing a file is a two-step process. First, we add the files or directories that we'd like to submit, and then we commit those changes, which actually transmits them back to the central server. So we're going to move back up to the top level of our working copy. So I'm within the directory that's named after my repository, and I should have my CME 211 directory that I created initially. And I'm going to use the SVN client command again. And this time I'm going to tell it that I'd like to add things to the repository. And I need to tell it the names of directories and or files that I'd like to add. So I'm going to tell it that I'd like to add the CME 211 directory. And you'll see that it goes through and recursively adds all of the subdirectories and files under the CME 211 directory. And remember, it's a two-step process, so now I need to actually commit those files. So I use SVN commit, and each time I commit a set of changes to the repository, I should provide a descriptive message of what I'm doing. So just like you should name your variables in a descriptive way, your commit messages should also be descriptive. So I'm providing a little message about what I'm doing or why I'm doing it. I go ahead and hit enter, and you will see that it goes through and shows that it's transmitting the file data. So that's going back to the centralized repository server, and you should get the message that you've committed revision 1, indicating that you've made modifications and the working copy has now been updated to a newer revision.